International Criminal Court is now in session.
Ambassador Francis Muthaura was present in court during the status conference, with Deputy Prime Minister Uhuru Kenyatta being represented by his lawyers led by Queen Counsel Stephen Kay. Again, questions were raised when the prosecution sought to implore upon the judges to consider the possibility of charging the two with different or additional modes of criminal responsibility other than the current ones in which they are charged as indirect co-perpetrators.
We say that they helped formulate the plan, that they implemented the plan by way of providing material, money, facilitating conduct between the Mungiki and government forces. Based on these facts, we believe that the criminal conduct can be appropriately bucketized into any of the four subdivisions of Article 25.3.
And it seems for unexplained reasons, the prosecution now are getting jittery and saying, well, maybe not this and maybe that.
Interestingly, the prosecution further wants the judges to consider the possibility of changing the description of crimes for which Kenyatta and Muthaura have been charged. Currently, the two are charged with murder, forcible transfer of populations, rape, persecution, and other inhumane acts.
To what extent, then, would what you're proposing to do engage the charging document and the need to possibly revisit it?
The document containing the charges in this case contains factual allegations regarding forced circumcision and penile amputation. In our view, that's not the only way in which these criminal acts could be categorized. In our view, they could equally be categorized, among other things, as other forms of sexual violence.
It seems to us that the prosecution intent in this regard amounts to alternative charging by the back door.
But the defense teams appeared not to hold a common position regarding the date they prefer for commencement of the cases. Muthaura's lawyers said their client was ready for trial in 60 days' time, but Kenyatta's lawyer wanted to first examine the evidence against him and remained non-committal. The prosecution, meanwhile, prayed for the two trials to run concurrently.
We do propose, Your Honours, that our date for trial should be synchronized as closely as possible between both cases.
That you want trial as soon as possible. Are we able to get from you an indication of the time?
I mean, we'd be happy to have a trial by summer. By the summer. You're on
this summer or next one?
Yes, you're on this summer.
The Chamber plans to issue an order on the schedule for trial, along with the relevant disclosure deadlines before the start of the summer recess.
Muthaura further lodged a complaint against the prosecution for failing to disclose evidence to them, yet information on prosecution witnesses was circulating on different fronts, especially in Kenya. And at this juncture, they questioned the role of one Macau Muthaura, a US-based Kenyan lecturer and also a founder of the Kenya Human Rights Commission, for what they termed as suspect relationships he has been having with the ICC.
This individual, we say, appears to be either a friend of the prosecution or an intermediary with the prosecution, and we say it for good reason. If one looks at the Buffalo University website of March 2010, and I quote, in mid-March, Dean Muthaura travelled to The Hague, the Netherlands, to train investigators of the International Criminal Court who are seeking evidence, and it goes on.
The withholding of names and identities is such a significant factor in preventing genuine and rightful defence investigations that it can hinder the interests of justice.
And after the acquittal of their one-time co-accused Hussein Ali, Muthaura and Kenyatta called for a review of the document containing charges they face. Muthaura further accused the prosecution of contacting defence witnesses, especially goading of defence witnesses. The court will rule later on submissions made by Kenyatta and Muthaura to have the trial be heard in Kenya or Arusha as one of Muthaura's other preferences. Hussein Mohammed, Citizen Live at 9.